Very good morning to everyone. Today we are going to discuss about C# programming. Why we need C# programming and what is the use of C# programming first of all. Actually, C# programming, C# is a language, programming language used to develop applications which can work in Windows OS. See, we have different type of OS, Linux OS, and then Mac OS from Apple, and then Windows OS. Windows OS is from Microsoft. Okay, now Microsoft is a company which is widely, it has a wide market and it's very famous OS. It has a very famous OS on Windows. If you want to run any software in Windows OS, you can develop it using different language. One among them is C#. C# is an object-oriented and it is very famous for desktop as well as web development. Right now, today, instead of explaining history and then how to do that, we are going to start with an simple example. Right now, we are going to learn this language. Instead of explaining the theoretical part, what I am going to do is, I am going to demonstrate you a simple example. Slowly, in every session, we are going to improve that application that we develop from day one. Right now, slowly, we are going to learn all the features that we have in the C# and then how to use it. Why we are learning it? This will be helpful for the people who want to pursue or he want to have his career as a software engineer, because the software engineering job is a very high paying job today, and it is also having a lot of opportunities. So that's why we are learning it. So at the end of the day, we all want to we all want to win our bread. Right now, for that we need to have some sort of knowledge. Right now, the having academic knowledge that we are studying theoretically in school or college will not help us to earn our bread that much easy, because those are just like an academics that will not, when it comes to practical, you need to know something in computers, how to do programming. Right now, this is very challenging today, because the peoples are earning bread is a very challenging thing right now. So if you have these sort of skills, the programming skills, you can do some programs for some companies, or you can even develop your own program and sell it for someone. You can train people in this program if they are having opportunity to work in that language in a particular environment. You can guide them. So these are the benefits that we can have, that we can achieve using this programming language. Okay, no. Okay, how to develop a program? What sort of program that we can develop? See, previously when I explained you C programming, it is like a character user interface. Like there will be a black screen. In that we used to write printf, scanf, and then we will do certain calculation, and then we used to print it. Right now, whatever that we have in C is also available in C#. Only difference is in C# you can create a GUI applications. What is mean by GUI? You are studying the computer science, no, in your school. What is mean by GUI? What is meant by graphical user interface? The graphic, see, there are different way of interacting with the OS. If you take Linux, you have to, when you like to command Linux, you have to type some command. You have to type something in English. Only then it will do that action. But in GUI, there will be images, buttons. You will simply go and click them. When you click them, it will do the action. It will execute some part of programming, some piece of programming code. Right now, that is how it used to work. So the GUI is something like you will have images buttons, and when you click them, it will execute the code. But CUI used to have a starting point. From there it used to execute right now. So it expect a character string from you to execute certain things right now. But it is not the case. In case of GUI, there you will find buttons and other stuff. With that you can execute. Okay. So when so now we understand what is GUI. And now the next thing is I want to write a simple software to for a billing. So when you go to the shop, no, grocery shop or something like that, you are buying some items. For that, they will provide you bill right now. We are going to create that billing software, very lightweight building software. Slowly, we are going to develop a very complex application through which we are going to learn the complete C# in detail right now. So we are learning things via projects. That is the approach that I used to follow for when I train people. Okay, now instead of explaining the theoretical part, I used to give some ideas, some project ideas to them. With that, I will do. Today, let me in the next session, I will bring all these point in an PowerPoint. Today, I am in a hurry to do a video. That's why I am directly starting the program demonstration. Okay, in order to write any application for Windows, the Windows has their own programming environment. Programming environment means IDE, integrated development environment. So it is another software that is coming from same Microsoft. Using that, you can create a program for Windows OS. So I told no, we are going to develop a building software. How to develop that building software? For that also we need some software. That software is provided by Microsoft for the free of cost. You don't need to pay anything. You don't need to pay anything. You can download that from Microsoft official website. That is the environment that we use for program development is Microsoft Visual Studio 2019 Community Edition. These community editions are free. There are professional edition as well. If you are having more than 100 employees, 10 employees, you have to go for professional edition. You cannot use community edition. But as far as the community edition is concerned, it is free. Anybody can download it from the internet, from the Microsoft website. If you have a laptop and internet connection, you can download it and you can start developing your application. Only thing is you should know the program, how to do program that. So I have downloaded Windows C# Visual Studio 2019 from Microsoft Community Edition that we are going to use today for our first program development. Okay, now. So when you want to develop, see, this programming environment, no, Visual Studio, right? So initially you don't have anything. Let me close this. In order to invoke Visual Studio, we can type Visual Studio here. See, I have installed Visual Studio Community, so it is listing. So I just hit open for that. Okay, so you will get a dashboard like this. To create a new project, you have to hit create new project. In this Visual Studio 2019 application, so I click here. In this here, we have different option. In our aim is we are going to develop a GUI application. GUI application for building. For that, you can select Windows Form App .NET Framework. There are other options as well. So as we are going to use .NET, what is .NET? Those things I will explain it later. As of now, you understand that .NET means it is a essential thing needed to develop GUIs, right? That if you have that sort of understanding, that's okay. Then after that, select that one and hit next. Then we have to name. we have to name our project, right? I name this project as building software. Right. And then they are asking where you are going to create that projects. I am going to create that projects under C# programming. So as we are learning that one, I have a in my folder structure, I have a folder called C# programming under which I want to develop. There is a default .NET framework as well, very latest, that is supported by 2019, that they are listing it. After selecting all these things, just hit create. So it says like, I think there is an already similar file is available, because for the sake of for a practice, and I created one. So they are complaining about that. So I can say like building software. We can say why building software, because from a hardware software we are creating, no. So why building software, just to name it. After doing it, because I need to have a different name, after doing it, I just create. So the moment you do that, you will get a form, Windows form. I believe you had seen this one in Windows machine. This sort of forms you will encounter when you open MS Word, MS Excel or Access or something like that, any Windows application, you will get these sort of forms. We are going to create such a form for our projects. Okay, no, from the scratch. We are going to do the programming for that. Okay, no. So what I want to rename this form as billing, because we are going to do billing. So I rename that as billing. So here it is display. Even after I change billing, it still displays form or no. For that, we can set the properties of the form. How can I get the properties? When you select the form, on the right side, you will have a properties solution explorer, like the different option. When you after selecting the form, hit this properties, so that you will get a properties of that particular form. So I'm going to change that form as bill. That is name of the form that is displaying on the title bar is called as bill. So this one no, this one is called as title bar. So it used to have minimize, maximize buttons and close buttons. So now we have a empty form. Now what we have to do? We have to create text fields. Fields we have to create. What are the parameter that we are going to use to create a bill? That we have to do now. So for that, what I do initially, I just bring on the left side, you will find a collection of toolboxes. While you do GUI programming, Microsoft provide you a set of toolboxes. You can use them to create your GUI without any hassle. Okay. For that, so there is something called as a label. The label means it will provide a text. See, I need a label and then a text box I need. Yeah. So you have to feed all your parameters here. Like, say, okay, when you go to a grocery store, you will get a bill now. In that, what are the things that you see? Item, name, rate, then price. Rate is called as price. Okay, what other thing? Total amount. Mahi, what do you think? Can you tell me some of the parameters that we used to find in the bills from a grocery store or something like that? So these people told serial number, item name, rate. What else? One is missing. Name already told. Date, yeah, that is one, because when we buy
the customer ID.
Customer ID and all advanced. Quantity.
I told quantity.
No, quantity was not.
I told quantity, but you didn't hear. It was quantity.
Is that so?
Not from his-
Okay, then no, don't bring God here. Okay, no. Actually, quantity is the parameter that is missing, or otherwise he told I didn't listen. Right? So we will bring them one after another. Among them, the first one is name, item name. So for two, okay, this label is displaying as label one. No, I want to change the text to that one. In order to change that one, right side, you will find a properties for that label. See, when you click on the form, you will get properties for form. When you click on label, you will get a properties for that label. In that label, you change, there is something called as a text property. Come to the text property and change that to item name. Right? After that, we have to, this is a text box, no? So we should name this text box because later point of time, we may use it in the calculation. It is having generic text box, no? So what I do, I change that text box name to item name underscore text box. So once you do one instant, you can copy paste and then change the name, right? So I just copy paste these things. Item name, rate, then quantity. Then we need to have amount because quantity multiplied by rate will give amount, right? Okay, but will we see when you see this form, we can enter only one. It looks like we can enter only one item. For example, milk. Milk rate 10 rupees and then quantity is 3. So totally you are getting 30 as an amount. If I want to add additional item, what I have to do? We don't have provision. We have to delete the existing one. Otherwise, we should have item name 1, item name 2, item name 3. Like that, we should have a lot of text boxes. Right now, here only we get logics. Now only we have to think logically in computer how to do this sort of programming. What we can do is whatever that we are entering in these fields, right? We can make copy of them. We can make copy of them in a temporary storage. After that, we can clear these text boxes. Clear these text boxes. After that, we can ask the user to enter second item Then we can put that in a second line of our backup. Like that, we can have some 10 items. Finally, those 10 items we can print for our bill. Today, I'm not going to explain about any backup. Just a simple example. Item name, rate, quantity. I will enter these things manually. I will enter these three things manually. But amount, I won't enter manually. I am going to do a calculation. As a first example, I am what calculation that we have to, how to find amount? What is the formula? Quantity? Quantity into rate is the formula for finding amount. We are going to implement only that today. I am going to explain the rest in upcoming session. In today's session, we are just going to find out amount using programming automatically. The moment we enter item name, rate, and quantity, it should be computed. Amount should be computed and should be displayed in the screen. That is what we want, right? So when you see this form, it has a lot of free spaces on the right side and in the bottom. So we don't like them. So what we are going to do is we are going to adjust this form to fit to our requirement. So I just adjust this so that we have a small simple bill, right? Brilliant. Right. So now I am going to just run this one and see whether I am getting something or not. I have designed a GUI, right? So let me run that. See here, I am seeing a form here right now. I can enter item name, rate, quantity, all those things. Right, let me enter item name as some CD and I press tab so that it comes to the second field. I enter the rate as some 25 rupees, quantity as 10. When I do that, my result should be 250. 25 multiplied by 10, 250. But is that coming? It's not coming. Why? Because there is no program in backend. That is called as they in terminology, in computer programming terminology, they used to say front end backend. So there is no backend program which compute this expression, which computes the amount. It is not available right now. So we have to write a program for that. As of now, it is not there, but we are able to enter item name, rate, quantity, but the item amount is not coming, right? So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a program now. So how to do program in backend? First, you stop Visual Studio because we are running it. After doing it, we have to go back to programming. This is a skeleton, otherwise the front end, GUI. Back end, we have to write program. You can double click that in order to go to programming environment. So now we are in a programming window. Right now, here we can write program. When to compute the amount? When to compute the amount means after I enter quantity, only then it should compute. After entering the quantity, the moment I leave the quantity field, it should compute the amount. Yes or no? See, I am entering the item name in the first field, rate in the second field. It should not compute the amount the moment I enter the item name. No, it should not do that one. When it should do the computation only after the after I enter the quantity and leave that field. Okay, how can I locate that moment when the application is running? For that, they provide us the event handlers. Event handlers, different type of events that used to happen when you run the application, right? That is there on the right side. So you just hit this one in properties window. So just hit that. So here, what we are going to do when we leave QTY field, we are going to compute the amount. For that, what I am doing, here we have a leave, right? Here we can write. So I am locating the event that will happen when I leave that particular quantity field. So I just double click here. So I got an event handler now. So at this point, I have to use the expression, right? So what is that expression? I have to multiply those two. Which one? The value that I entered in quantity and value that I enter in the rate. If that is the case, I should know those two fields name. This one and this one name right now. So I come here. So I can declare, as we are declaring in C programming, we can declare variables here also, right? So the amount will be mostly at today we are going to deal with whole number only. So we can even have in float that that I explain to you in upcoming session. As of now, we will only deal with integer. To declare an integer variable, we can say we can use int data type and then the variable name is amount. Okay, this is just like a temporary declaration. As far as the declaration is concerned, the C# and C follow the same pattern. There is no difference in that. After doing it, I just say amount is equal to. Now I have to take the value from quantity field and the rate field. If that is the case, I should know them, right? So I know that like the field name of the rate is rate text box, if I am not wrong, right now. So that you can get it in properties, rate underscore text box. Just to take it, come here and paste that in dot txt. Okay, that the txt means the content in that text box multiplied by for multiplication, we have to use star operator. It is similar to C. In C also we use star only, no? After doing it, we have quantity. The quantity as its own name, QTY underscore text box. Now we have done the expression, but problem is it still says it is error. There is some issues with that one. What is the issue? Actually, the value that we enter, no, those fields are in the data type of text. Text means characters, but when it comes to amount, it should be in integers. So now we have to do a conversion. These text to number conversion should be done. For that, there is a functions library function available in C#.convert int 32 to int 32. Which one? So we are converting the rate text box value to integer, and then we are also converting convert dot to int 32 the quantity text box into integer. Got it? So now we have a computed amount. So there is no error now. So the computed amount, the multiplication of rate and the quantity is stored in the AMT variable now. This AMT variable should be assigned to the amount text box that we have in the GUI. What we computed is in backend. We have to bring that to the front end. To bring that to the front end, we have this one. Like we have a text box, right? So just copy this text box. It is having a generic name. Let me change that as amount underscore text box and then simply copy that. Right. So just come back to backend, that is programming window. Just put that text and I just type AMT. When I do so, it is again throwing error. Why? Actually, not short form. The AMT text box is in text type, but our computed amount is in integer. So we have to convert that into string. We have to convert that into text. For that, we have a library function again. We can say like 2 in 32, like that we have, sorry, two string. Simply integer will be converted into string. Got the point? Now the program is ready. If I enter the item name and the rate, quantity, automatically I can find amount. Now, right? Let me check whether that is working. So we have done a very simple program today to understand how to do a simple GUI programming in C#. Just you run it. Right. My item name is CD and the rate was that we put was 25. Then the quantity is 10. After doing it, I just press a tab. The moment I press tab, I get 250 here. The amount is automatically computed without any problem. Got it? So for that, we used a program in the backend. And we also used an even handler. When we leave that field, we computed this one. So let me change the item name now to something else. DVD, and I cost that as some 45 rupees, and the quantity as 120, sorry, some 100. Then I press a tab, 4,500. Right now. So it is computing. It works for every input that we give. But this is very basic. When you go to the grocery store or when you go to any DVD shop or something like that, electronic shop, they won't have the application which is very simple like this. They will have a record because we won't buy only one product at a time. We will buy multiple products. We have to combine all those product records in a bill and they have to produce a complete bill to us right now. And we also have a print of our bill. Those things will improve day by day. Today, I end today's session with this. We will explore this programming language using different toolboxes and the features that that is available in this language in upcoming session. Do you understand this one, or you have any doubt? Asia, what you understood
About GUI
about GUI?
and C#.
GUI and C#. You didn't understand how to do GUI programming right now?
I know already.
You know already,
Yeah, it's one of the.
but you didn't have you don't have practical experience, right?
We had in the computer lab.
Don't lie.
Really?
Mahi, do you understand? Mahi, are you there? Let me ask questions with Asia and Dasnin. Let me ask some questions and then we will close the session. How to bring, what are these two elements? We have something called as some text here, and then we have some input boxes here. What these things are called in toolbox? Why we need them? Tasneem.
Property length, right?
We have these two things are called as labels and text boxes. Labels helps us to helps the user to understand what sort of input that he is going to give right now. Whether he is going to give item name or rate or quantity, what he is going to give, that idea he can get using this label right now. The text box is a real input box. There we can feed our inputs. If we don't have input box, we cannot feed rate, quantity, those things right now. So for that only we need these two things. And then why I used this leave qt underscore textbot dot leave even handler. Why don't I use something else? Why I have used this even handler, this leave even handler? There are many even handler available. No, mouse click like that. Come on.
Read any question.
See, we have used a even handler here, leave even handler. Why we have used it?
Quantity and leave alone.
Yes. So when we leave quantity, in that moment only we want to compute amount. That's why I am using this. And why we multiply it, it is we all know. So in order to find out amount, we have to multiply. That is a mathematical expression to compute the amount. Why I am converting this amount into string?
Number
Because the result is in number. When we assign it to the GUI, it should be converted to text string. That's why we are doing it. Clear? Okay, team. I end today's session with this. Let me catch you tomorrow with more detail. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.